Okay, so come into a nice seat. Just kind of just glance down, see that knees are approximately over ankles. You might need to slide a blanket underneath your feet. So anything that you need to feel comfortable here. Good. And then let's start to roll our shoulders back. Hi, Kelly. Kind of get all of the tension and cracks out of the neck. Some days this is really intense. And then start to roll forward. Good. Rolling back again. And then a couple of options here. You could just release your hands by your side. That's going to introduce a little more stretch into your arms and into your shoulders. So it might just also be nice to just place hands on thighs. Nice deep inhale through the nose. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go, ha. Do that a couple more times. So nice deep inhales, really fill up, and then maybe pause at the top of the breath, and then let the breath go through your mouth. Let all of the things that might be stressing you out. And there's plenty in the world right now. Just let it all go. And just start to key into that idea that you're gonna check in with yourself. You're gonna make contact with that place inside of you that is wise and creative, that place that knows what you need. And unfortunately, that place that we kind of neglect sometimes, we get really busy, caught up in all of the things that we're doing, or even we just get in our head. And as you feel ready, you're going to start to find that rhythm of your breath, that inhale through the nose and then that exhale through the nose. And you might even notice that there's this soft rush of air in the back of your throat. So there's this sound that's slightly audible. So it sounds as though the breath has a little more effort, a little more gravitas, a little more oomph. And we're going to be here quietly. We're going to soak up these initial moments. And you're going to keep checking in with your body. You're going to make sure that tension doesn't creep in. And that usually happens around the shoulders and the neck, but sometimes we can start to grab the outer hips, the inner thighs. So just observing all of this and trying to sit with this sense of ease, even though there is this effort to this seat. And then you're also going to periodically check in with your head space. So you're going to get distracted by sounds happening around you. And you're going to get more distracted by the sounds happening inside of your brain, all of that chatter that is hard to turn off. When your attention goes to these places, you come back to your breath. So the breath is such a powerful tool for helping us stay present and in the moment. Use your breath to help you find space in your body, especially that inhale. Use your exhale to help you release tension from the body, even from the brain. Good. Nice deep inhale. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. Good. And then, so we're going to just do a little twisting, and you may or may not move with the breath here. We might be moving a little faster, so it won't quite match up with that. That's okay. So go ahead and bring your fingertips to your shoulder heads, or you can just bend at the elbows. You could even have arms out wide if that feels better. So you can kind of play around. We're just going to start to do these gentle kind of little twists here. So it's almost like you're a washing machine agitator. And again, just kind of letting the breath do its own thing here. You don't need to be so concerned with connecting movement up with the breath. Kind of just warming up the sides of the waist, the torso. You're going to feel this in your shoulders a little bit. Hi, Amy Hillman. So let's stay here like another, 15, 20 seconds if you can. If the arms are starting to hurt and you need to release them down, that happens, so that's fine. And you might find that as we're doing this, twisting in a little deeper. All right, so let's come back to center. Oh, sigh of relief as you release the arms by your side. Let's take that right arm in front. So just giving it a little squeeze. You can hold with your palm here, maybe you hook with the elbow. They're both good variations, and a lot of it is just going to depend on flexibility in your body, how you're built. So wherever you're at, you're just gently pressing that right shoulder or that right arm in towards your chest. You're feeling that stretch on the tricep, the outer arm. Shoulder might start to creep up around your ear, so soften your shoulder blades down your back, and then make sure again that you're sitting nice and tall with shoulders balanced over your sit bones. Good. Deep inhale. And then exhale, let that side go. And we're going to take that left arm in front. So the same thing, this side might feel quite a bit different. So you're kind of noticing that if this is your tighter side, you're not forcing it. So we can kind of get caught up in this idea that it needs to look exactly the same side to side. Not necessarily true. More important to modify and be smart in these poses, because we want to be doing this for a long time. You're listening to that sound of your breath, that inhale through your nose, that exhale through your nose. You're going to forget to do that sometimes. So we always just keep checking in with it as we remember. Good. Deep inhale. Exhale, let that side go. And then we're going to slow it down. So instead of moving fast like we just were with that twisting action, we're going to move with the breath a little slower. And we are going to extend arms out this time. So activate the arms, feel the muscles firm to bone, and it's actually going to make it a little easier to hold them up like this. It's actually a lot of work to do this. So take a nice deep inhale here. You're rooting into your sit bones. As you exhale, take that full exhale to start to twist to the right. And you might not go very far at all. That's all right. Inhale back to center. And then exhale, start to twist to the left. We're going to do several rounds, inhaling back to center to each side. So as we begin to warm this up a little more, maybe you do twist in a little deeper. Again, you're just kind of going to that place in your body where you're feeling some sensation, getting some stretch, but you're not overdoing it. Inhale back to center. And you're probably noticing, I'm noticing that I'm feeling the work that's happening in the arms. So if you need to give them a little break for a round or two, you're welcome to do that. Perhaps you want to challenge yourself to keep them extended. And if you're doing that, again, you're going to have to almost work them more. And that it seems counterintuitive, but it makes it a little easier to keep them lifted like this. Good. Exhaling, twisting in. So you use that emptying out to help you find that twist. Inhale, come back to center. And let's do one more to each side. Exhale, twisting to the right. Inhaling to center. And then exhale, twist to the left. Come back to center. Release the arms down. Hallelujah. Take a couple of breaths here. And then just do a little check-in. Just notice how you're feeling differently already. So I always am so amazed by how just like a few minutes of movement really shifts how you start to feel energetically, how your body starts to open up. So it really is a gift to move and to breathe like this. Okay, so let's start to move into our lateral stretching. So just releasing arms by side, rooting into your sit bones. We're going to try to hold on to that as we go side to side. So opposite sit bone is going to want to pop up a little bit. If it does, that's fine. But kind of think, just imagine being really anchored here. Okay, so reaching down, let's take an exhale and then energetically really reach down through that left arm, those fingertips. Inhale, right arm comes up and over. Any amount. So you're getting all of this length through the right side as you exhale, release. Inhale, stretch that left arm up. Good, exhale, release down. And we're just moving with the breath here. So finding this vinyasa, just connecting this simple movement with the breath, which feels really good. It has this nice calming quality, this meditative quality. For a lot of us, it's kind of easier to keep the brain, the mind focused when we're moving like this and connecting with the breath, as opposed to being in a static pose and holding, especially if it's a challenging pose. The thoughts really start to kick up. So just kind of noticing what's going on in your mind here. Really listening, soaking up that sound of your breath. Let's do a couple more to each side, and then we're going to come into the hold. Good. So the next time your right arm is reaching up, let's just hold there. Again, put your brain into your sit bones. So you're pressing pretty evenly. That right one might be a little lighter. Energetically extending, reaching through that left arm. And then in that top arm, you're getting lots of length through the right side. And then you're gonna internally rotate. So you're spinning the eye of the elbow in towards your face. So like it feels like you're spinning your palm behind you. And then maybe you begin to bring your gaze up towards that top arm. And we haven't gotten into the neck here yet. We'll do that next. So looking up might not feel good. And if that's the case, you just come back to a place where there's a sense of ease. So you just might be looking forward, kind of like 45 degrees. Feel your shoulder blades release down your back. As you reach up and find length. And then on your next exhale, release that right arm down. And then inhale, left arm comes up and over. So again, first just start by finding your sit bones. Energetically anchoring there. Trying to sit pretty even. That left one might be a little lighter. And then as you extend down through that right arm, you can start to spin these right ribs up towards the ceiling. So there's a little twist here in this lateral stretch, getting all of this great length through the left side of your body. And then again, internal rotation. So you're spinning the eye of the elbow in towards your face, and then you just play with your gaze here. The side of the neck might feel a lot different. So letting go of the idea that it has to look exactly like the other side. Some days that happens, some days it doesn't. That's all right. Good. Deep inhale. As you exhale, release down. And then before we come into some more static neck stretching, let's inhale, squeeze our shoulders up towards our ears, clench every muscle in your body, and exhale, let it go. Ha. Inhale, scrunch up, maybe even like clench your jaw a little bit. Exhale, release down. Inhale. Couple more. Let it go. All right, so we are gonna start to bring our chin towards our chest. Couple of options here. You can have your arms releasing by your side. That's gonna introduce a little more stretch to the tops of the shoulders, the neck area. So you might just wanna start with hands resting on your thighs. And it's really hard to let the back of the neck go. So you're really trying to let it lengthen. You're bringing that chin towards your chest. Saying clenching the jaw just reminded me, I was listening to NPR the other day, and they were talking about how many dentists are saying that they're seeing patients with a lot of broken teeth, more so than they ever do. And I guess they attribute it to, because of all of the stress, we are kind of like biting our teeth a lot at night, I suppose. So don't do that. If you clench it, let it go. All right, so keeping your chin tucked. Let's just move a little faster. So as you exhale, start to bring your right ear towards your right shoulder. And then let's take an inhale here. Feel that stretch on the top of the left side of the neck and those scalene muscles. Good, and then exhale, come back to center. Chin towards chest, letting the back of the neck go. I just noticed that my shoulders were coming up around my ears. So if that's happening in your body, soften them down. Nice inhale. And then exhale, start to bring left ear towards left shoulder. This is intense today. It feels like a Monday in my body. I don't know about you guys. Take an inhale here. Exhale. Chin towards chest. Letting the shoulders release. Nice deep inhale. Let's do that a couple more times just like that, kind of with this vinyasa. Exhaling, right ear towards right shoulder, and then we'll come into a hold. But let's just kind of warm this up here. So taking an inhale with right ear to right shoulder, and exhale. Chin to chest. Taking an inhale. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Exhale. Chin to chest. Take an inhale, holding here. Let the back of the neck release. And then exhale. Right ear to right shoulder. Exhale. Chin to chest. Taking a nice deep inhale. Exhale. Bringing that left ear towards your left shoulder. Taking an inhale here. Exhale, back to center. All right, so nice deep inhale, shoulder blades are releasing down your back, this time moving slow. So you're gonna take a few breaths. So you're gonna pause in those places where you're feeling a good stretch. We start to bring that right ear towards the right shoulder. No rush to get there. So you're kind of visiting all the places along the way. If you want a little more, maybe reach down through those left fingertips if you're not already. This can be really intense. So make sure that you're still breathing. When poses get challenging, we sometimes start to hold the breath and we start to grip all of the muscles in our body. So the breath helps us to keep a sense of ease, of letting go. If you'd like a little more, maybe you bring your right palm to the top of your head and apply a little pressure. And you're always so careful about that. Some days it works, some days it doesn't. Can be a fine line between getting sensation and overstretching, which can lead to injury. So I always want to be really careful and know that every day it feels a little different. Okay, so if you have your hand on top of your head, just release it down by the side, and then moving slow, start to tuck chin, come back to center. And then again, just taking your time. There is no rush to bring that left shoulder to your left ear. You're observing how things feel on this side. How does it compare to the other side? You're noticing these things. So our yoga practice is really good at training us to do that. And we spend a lot of time kind of just observing the gross body. So the external, but we eventually start to turn that inward a little more. So we begin to notice like the thoughts that are kind of common themes that come up, and those thoughts maybe that don't serve us, and we get better at becoming aware of those and letting them go. You could be reaching through your right fingertips here just to intensify the stretch on the right side of the neck. And then maybe if you would like, you bring your left hand to the top of your head. If you go there and it feels too intense, you release it. Make sure you're breathing. And then start to release your hand if you took that variation. With chin tucking, start to make your way back to center. And keep the chin tucking, and just notice how the back of your neck is feeling differently. So hopefully it feels like it's releasing, it's a little longer, there isn't that grip. And let's take a deep inhale here together through our nose. Then open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. And then nice and slow, next inhale, start to upright yourself. And then again, let's just roll the shoulders back, which hopefully is feeling a little more open now. Let's go forward. Good, and then back again. Allow your shoulder blades to release down your back. As you inhale, stretch your arms out. So we're coming into a twist, and we're gonna hold it this time. So nice deep inhale, stretch out, and then hold on to that as you exhale. Start to twist to the right. Just imagine that you have two people just gently pulling on your wrists, kind of tractioning you apart. Then you're gonna release this right hand behind you. Left hand comes to the outside of that right thigh, so you get a little leverage. And what tends to happen here is we start to round in the spine, the shoulders dip forward. So we want to root into the sit bones, sit nice and tall. And then we can use this leverage of hand against thigh to press these shoulder heads back. So it's a little bit of that feeling, cobra pose. So little back bend. And then you begin to play with your gaze here. You might eventually begin to bring your gaze out over that right shoulder. As you go in that direction, you will start to feel a little more stretch potentially in the left side of your neck. And if that gets too intense at any point, you just kind of back out a little bit to a place that feels a little easier. And then check in with your breath here, especially that inhale. So it's a little challenging you can't find that big expansion of your rib cage when you're twisted in like this. It is interesting though, as we exhale, as we empty out, sometimes we can twist in a little deeper, and it might just be the tiniest amount more. Good, let's take another deep inhale. And then as you exhale, untwist, come back to center. So finding this mountain pose, Tadasana, I'm going to take a couple breaths here before we twist to that left side. Check in with shoulders, make sure that they're releasing down your back. And then maybe just check in with your seat again too, your legs, kind of knees over ankles, shoulders are over your sit bones. We have that beautiful alignment. Good. And then again, as we inhale, we stretch the arms out. So activate the arms. Take a deep inhale. And then as you exhale, start to twist to the left. My right shoulder just crept up around my ear. So I'm softening it down. And then just imagine again that you have two friends pulling on your wrists, just kind of tractioning you apart. You're wrapping those right ribs to the left. Then reach, grab a piece of chair with your left hand. Right hand comes to the outside of your thigh. And I should also say, if you're a little tighter in the spine, you could always adjust by pressing hand to the inside of your right thigh too. Pressing shoulder heads back, keeping that lift of your sternum, so sitting nice and tall, resisting that urge to round in. Save that for Netflix later. Good. As you exhale, you twist in a little deeper. And then you start to play with your gaze. So maybe moving in the direction of looking out over that left shoulder. That may or may not happen. But you are welcome to go in that direction. And just really, again, noticing how that inhale feels. There's places where it's a little harder to expand the body when we're in these twists, so that's okay. But then as you exhale, as everything releases out and contracts in, maybe you can twist in a little deeper here. Good, deep inhale. As you exhale, come back to center and let's release all of this. We've done a lot of twisting and lateral stretching with just a nice little forward fold. So you're gonna start to just roll in, and this is nice because then we do get more of the rounding of the spine. This is a great place to have blocks or books for your hands. You can also just let them kind of dangle. We've already stretched out the back of the neck, so don't feel like you have to hold your neck up. In fact, just imagine that there's like a little weight tied to your head, so kind of helping you to release towards the floor. And then you're noticing how the breath feels here. We're going to find a little twist here. So you're going to start to kind of lay your belly out over that right thigh. It's not going to go there entirely, but you just kind of twist a little bit, and you can walk your hands off to the right a bit. And then just notice if you've started to hold the head up, let it go, let it release down. So almost like a little twisting child's pose here. These forward folds are these nice calming, cooling poses. And they're really nice at helping us draw inward. So you're going to start to walk back to center. And then you're going to make your way off to the left. And you don't have to go off very far. Kind of just laying that belly out over that left thigh. The neck has started to grip. Let it go. Check in with your breath. Make sure that you still have that nice inhale through your nose. And then exhale through your nose. Good. Walk back to center. Couple more breaths here. So just folding in. Getting that length in the spine. And then from here, we're going to come into our half forward fold. So if you do have blocks, hands pressing in the blocks is a really nice variation. If you don't have blocks, you can always just press your hands into the tops of your thighs. But essentially, you start to lengthen through the sides of your waist and your gaze comes forward. And you do, so the elbows sometimes like to wing out here. So kind of squeeze them into the midline so you start to get that lift of your sternum. Nice. And find the breath. Good. As we exhale, we're going to fold back in again. And then we're going to inhale. We're going to roll on up. So just like one vertebra at a time, stacking on top. Once you come upright, start to reach your arms up overhead. And you can take your arms as wide as you need to so that you can start to bring your elbows to straight. This is also a nice variation if you tend to be a little tighter in your shoulders. It'll just take some of the work out there. Feel that lift of your sternum. Maybe start to bring your gaze up. And a few of us might start to press palms together. And that's often dictated by shoulder flexibility. So if it's not happening, don't worry about it. And then as you exhale, so you can either pull hands down the midline or you can take them out wide. So they both just feel a little different. And then taking a couple breaths here. And we're going to start to flow. Good. So as you exhale, release your hands by your side. As you inhale, a couple options here. You could either reach arms forward. Sometimes that feels better. If you want to take up space and reach out, you're welcome to do that as well. As we exhale, depending upon how stable you feel here, you might swan dive in, so that gets into the core a little bit. Otherwise, you're just rolling on down, using your hands on your thighs to help you. As you inhale, you come back into that half forward fold, Ardha Uttanasana. It's a little back bend. As you exhale, you fold in. So these sun salutes are a series of forward folding and back bending. So really beautiful for warming up the spine. As you inhale, you could reach arms out and up. So reverse swan dive up, or again, you're just using your hands to help you press on up. Maybe gaze up, press palms together. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. So that was one full round of our half Surya Namaskara. We're going to do a few more. Inhaling, reaching. Let these feel so good. So find this sense of ease in your body. As you exhale, you fold in. Find this sense of grace and space and lengthening in your body. Inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. As you exhale, you fold back in. Let the back of your neck release and lengthen. Inhale, roll on up or stretch your arms out, coming into your extended mountain pose. As you exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhaling, reaching Utthita Hastasana into Dasana, extended mountain. As you exhale, you make your way into your Uttanasana, full forward fold. Inhale, you lengthen into your Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Exhale, come back into your Uttanasana. And then inhale, press down, stretch up, extended mountain pose. As you exhale, hands come to heart center. Samastitihi, even standing. Couple more. I'm not going to cue you. You're just going to move with your breath. If it feels comfortable to close your eyes, sometimes that can be a really nice variation, and it just helps you to really key into how your body is feeling, helps you to really pay attention to the breath. And there's no rush here. And when you're done with that second round, you're just going to pause in your mountain pose. Eyes closed, gaze inward. Get curious about how your body is feeling. So my heart's beating a little faster. I'm feeling a little heat. The breath starts to speed up. So these are all good things, but let's just take a moment here, try to slow it all down again. Good. Blinking your eyes open, releasing your hands. So we're going to come into another kind of a wide-legged twist here with a few different variations. So you might need to scoot forward in your chair a little bit. We're going to take our legs a little bit wider, and I'm going to kind of leave it up to you. You can go fairly wide if you'd like to, if you feel comfortable, but you don't necessarily need to go very far at all. And then if you do have a block, this can be a really nice place to have a block. So you kind of make a triangle with the block in your feet, and you might have to position things. And if you're a little more flexible, you won't need a block. And then I'm also going to give you another variation that isn't quite as deep. So there's a lot of options here. So rooting down into your sit bones, sitting nice and tall. So option A would be to just press your left hand to the inside of your left thigh or even on top, and then start to twist to the right. So you could stay here like this, maybe holding on to your right hip bone, kind of leaning the shoulder back. Maybe you extend that top arm up. So nice twist here. This might feel like plenty. If you'd like to go a little deeper, you're going to go ahead and forward fold, and you might have to adjust again the block kind of so that you have your hand underneath your nose, and then you start to twist open. So again, the same thing here. Fingertips start on that right hip. You're spinning your ribs up towards the ceiling. This is great. You're getting this stretch, this opening across your heart and chest. If you want to go a little deeper, maybe you start to extend that top arm up. And then the final stage, wherever you're at, maybe you begin to bring your gaze up towards that top thumb. And actually, when I popped out of that, so if you were just here with your hand on your thigh, you could actually even come onto your forearm. So that's kind of in between the two. So that gives you a little more of that forward fold feeling, but not quite as deep as if you are pressing into the floor. So they're all good places to be. I'm just taking a few breaths here, playing with your gaze. So finding a place that feels comfortable in your neck. Good. Deep inhale. As you exhale, unwind, and let's all just take a nice little forward fold here. So wide-legged forward fold, Uttanasana. Let the back of your neck lengthen. Let the arms release. And then slowly start to roll on up. Might get a little head rush when you get there. We're going to take that to the left side. So again, a few different options. So let's all start with our left hand on our left hip. So you might just press that right palm to the inside or on top of the thigh. If you want to come in a little further and come down to that forearm and find the twist, you're welcome to do that. So as those right ribs wrap up towards the ceiling, you might decide that it feels good to extend that left arm up. So finally, maybe you take the deeper forward fold, rooting your palm, right palm down so it's kind of underneath your nose, and then taking the twists. And again, you can keep left fingers on that hip, kind of lean that left shoulder back. If you want a little more, you can start to extend those left fingertips up, and then maybe you start to bring your gaze up towards the fingers, if it feels okay. Breath smooth and steady. And again, a little harder to fill up on the inhale. You do the best that you can, but then as you exhale and empty out, maybe you can twist in just the tiniest amount more. Maybe it's just a thought more, that's fine too. Good deep inhale. As you exhale, you unwind. So if you're upright a little more, we all just come back to center and then take this wide-legged forward fold. Letting the back of the neck release. Slowing the breath down and then just paying attention to the inhale here. So in this configuration is obviously the breath's a little more, we can feel that expansion of the rib cage in the front of the body, the sides of the body, the back of the body. And then moving nice and slow. Start to roll on up. And then just kind of come back to that mountain pose. So start to bring those legs back in. And let's come into a warrior one variation. So we're gonna keep this right knee bent, and you actually might stay here like this. This is absolutely fine. If you can extend that left leg to straight, you're welcome to do that. And it's fine if the toes turn out a little bit, but we're kind of in this configuration. So right knee is bent, hips are both facing forward. Root down into your sit bones. So energetically, you're feeling that anchoring. That's your base. And then we're going to inhale, stretch arms out and up. And again, you can take your arms as wide as you need to. If you're tighter in the shoulders, that can be really nice. If you're a little more open, perhaps they start to come a little closer. And then maybe you begin to bring your gaze up. Good. And then as we exhale, we're going to start to bring our hands to heart center. So we're going to come into this twisted crescent pose. So we did this a couple weeks ago. So I'm going to give you a couple of options here. So hands vigorously pressing towards heart center. Feel that widening across the backs of your shoulders. Take a nice deep inhale. Lengthen through the sides of your waist. And then as you exhale, start to twist any amount to the right. And in this configuration with the legs like this, you're not going to go probably as far as you were prior. That's absolutely okay. So this might feel like plenty. Again, if you want to play with going a little deeper, maybe you start to hinge forward and then see if you can bring that left elbow to the outside of that right thigh. And then you use that leverage to find lengthening through the sides of the waist and to wrap those left ribs up. Maybe you start to play with bringing your gaze up over that right shoulder. So these deep twists are really great for the spine. Also really good for the organs of digestion and elimination. I think all of the twisting that we do in yoga is one of the reasons why it's so wonderful and unique. Um, you don't get a lot of this like in jazzercise class. I guess I shouldn't say that because I don't do jazzercise, but a lot of twisting in yoga, which is really nice. All right. So let's go ahead and unwind here. And let's take a little forward fold like this. So this is kind of a variation of Ardha Hanumanasana, so our half splits. With, especially if you have that left leg extended forward. You might even feel a little stretch in the back of the left leg as you do this, and it can be quite intense, so you can bend that knee a little bit too if it feels like too much. And then a couple of options. You roll out here if you want to get into the core a little bit. Take arms out wide. Stretch up. Very nice, guys. And then hands come to heart center, and we're going to take that sequence to the second side. So if you have that left leg extended, just use your hand to help bring the leg in. So we have left knee over left ankle, and then you're welcome to extend that right leg. Being here is all of the same work too. So they're both really good. So just kind of see what's feeling good in your body. And of course it is fine if those right toes turn out a little bit. Find your sit bones. So energetically rooting down there, that's our base. As you inhale, take the arms out and up. So you're getting that beautiful length through the sides of the waist, especially feel that as you're inhaling. Maybe begin to bring your gaze up. So it's like somebody's just got a string attached to your sternum, like your little puppet. You might even press palms together if shoulder flexibility allows that to happen. Good deep inhale. And then as you exhale, hands come to heart center. And we're going to find that twisted crescent pose here. So a couple of various options that you can go into. So take a nice deep inhale, lengthen through the sides of your waist. As you exhale, start to twist to the left. And you're kind of trying to press palms to heart center. This might feel like plenty, and this side might feel different. So if you went deeper on the last side and it doesn't feel like you can on this side, that's absolutely fine. You stay here. But if you do want to see if you can hinge forward, at your waist, and then hook that elbow to the outside of your left thigh, right elbow to the left thigh. And then that helps you to spin open a little more. So you're wrapping those right ribs up towards the ceiling as you press your palms to heart center. Maybe you begin to look out off to the left or out over that left shoulder. Couple more good breaths here. Nice deep inhale. As you exhale, you unwind, and we're gonna just hang forward here. I didn't mention on the other side, it probably goes without saying, you guys are all really good at this and at modifying. Blocks can be really good here, especially if you have that right leg extended and your hamstrings tend towards tighter or even lower back sometimes. Blocks are a really nice tool to just kind of make the work not as intense. Couple more good breaths. All All right, and then again, as you come out of this, maybe you want to engage the core, so you can engage the belly, take arms out wide. Otherwise, you just roll on up. And then you're going to bend that right knee. So coming back to that nice mountain pose. And let's close our eyes here. Check in, notice how you're feeling. Notice how you're feeling different. And then let's take a nice deep inhale here together through the nose. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. Before we move to our Shavasana, which really snuck up on me really quickly today, we're going to do a couple of rounds of our 3-part Viloma breath. So we're all pretty familiar with this. So eyes closed here. I'm going to just talk you through it. As always, some days this doesn't always feel good, so you could just skip it. You could just be here kind of in quiet meditation. When we're retaining the breath, when we're doing those holds, if at any point you feel like you need to breathe, please do so. This is definitely can be challenging. It certainly helps to strengthen and build the lungs. But like all of the poses that we do, we have to practice it. So eyes are closed here. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Full complete exhale through your nose. And then completely empty out. Might feel your lower belly pull in and up a little bit. Pause there. Inhale 1/3 of the way up. So breathing up to your belly button, pausing the breath. Inhale another 1/3 of the way. So you're going to feel that expansion kind of getting into the lower ribs, the floating ribs, pausing. Inhale all the way up underneath your collarbones. That lift of your sternum, that openness across your heart and chest. And then turn the breath around. Exhale through your nose. You're just going to take a couple rounds of normal breathing when you get to the bottom of that breath. So you let that round go. Now that we know where we're going, this next round will probably feel a little easier. And again, if it's just not happening for you today, you just skip it. You're just quietly breathing here. All right, so nice deep inhale through the nose. And full complete exhale through the nose. Pause at the bottom of that breath. Inhale 1/3 of the way up. Pause the breath. Inhale another 1/3 of the way up. Pausing the breath. Inhale all the way up underneath your collarbones. Pause the breath. And then slowly exhale the air out through your nose. When you reach the bottom, just take a couple rounds of normal breath, easy breath. And we're going to do one more round of the Viloma breath. If you would like to, if 2 felt like plenty, I'm going to start to find a comfortable resting pose. And for those of us that would like to do one more round here, take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go, ha. I did that wrong, so let's do that again. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. When you get to the bottom, squeeze the breath out. You're completely empty. Lower belly pulls it in up. Inhale 1/3 of the way up to your belly button. Pause the breath. Inhale another 1/3 of the way. Pausing the breath. And then inhaling all the way up underneath your collarbones. Sternum lifts, openness across your heart and chest. The breath is paused. Slowly exhale the air out through your nose. Good, and this time inhale through the nose. Open your mouth, let the breath go, ha. And then we're gonna spend these final few moments just in a resting pose. So nice Shavasana. You're welcome to come onto the floor, classic Shavasana, if that is available to you. Otherwise, whatever feels good. So just sitting upright like this might be nice. Maybe it feels good to lean back into the chair. You could do a forward fold here. You could also, if you have a desk or a coffee table or another chair close by, you could just come into kind of this nice little child's pose. So finding a place to end that feels relaxing and easy in your body. And just soaking up these final moments here. So you worked really, really hard. Now we rest hard. Shavasana. Asato ma satgamaya. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Take a deeper inhale. And let the breath go. Ha. Start to bring some gentle movement back to your body. Wiggle, stretch. And then placing your palms in a pile on top of your heart, sending yourself lots of love and gratitude, sending your body love and gratitude. Such a gift to be able to work like this, to move like this. It's not always easy, but it does make a difference in how we feel. Just promise yourself that you're going to carry a little of this good feeling that you've created with you into the rest of the day, the rest of the week ahead. Beautiful work today, guys. Thank you. Namaste.